Welcome back to Fast Market here on the TD Ameritrade Network. It's time for our cash tag segment, so let's bring in Landon Swan. He's a co-founder at Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Thank you, Tom. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. So we're talking On Holdings, the niche athleisure player out of Switzerland. But this stock is up about 100% so far this year, Landon. We've talked about this on the show before. Your data was way ahead of the stock moves at this point. What kind of metrics are you seeing going into this earnings result? Because it seems like expectations are pretty high from the investment community here.
Sure. You know what? We've been pretty bullish on this one since last fall. I think our members are up about 126% on this one so far. And it's incredible what you can see with the data. It is just off the charts. And I think it all comes from quality. The founding of this company is actually pretty interesting. It was founded by an Ironman champion who had Achilles pain, and he couldn't find a solution, so he made a new shoe. Really incredible, extremely comfortable shoes. And now, they're branching out beyond just running. They're in, tennis shoes and other track and field type stuff. They've got multiple podium appearances at the 2023 Track and Field Outdoor Championships. They've got a win in the Boston Marathon. So it's kind of like in golf. When you have your ball as Nike or Titleist, whoever it is, you want your ball to be the one that wins. Well, they want their shoes to be on the person who wins these various events, and they're getting up there. They're competing with Nike. So their performance, their comfort, they're very high quality shoes. And, it's evidenced by the fact that people love them. When you look at happiness, it is incredible how high their happiness levels are. They're actually happier than any other competitor that we've got. I've got them about 79%, which is very happy for shoes. You look at Nike or Adidas, Under Armour, they're 71, 70, 64%. So them at OnCloud at 79% is doing very well. And even when you look at purchase intent, very strong as well there. They're at the top of all of the shoe makers, all the athletic makers. And then when you look at their direct-to-consumer, very, very strong. You look at their web visits, they're up about 74% on a year-over-year basis. So, people are going to the website to check them out, to buy, to order directly. I mean, this is a very appealing chart. It's not only up and to the right, but it's starting to accelerate up and to the right. So it's going up faster than it was going up a year or two ago. So overall, this is, we really like this company. I would say that where the stock's at right now, if you asked me last week, I would have still been bullish, but not gung-ho because it was so high. But we've got a little bit of a pullback right now, which I like over the last few days down to 34. It's kind of been in a little bit of a channel, I guess, between 34 and 36, and now we're at the bottom of that. I think that gives a little bit of an opportunity going into this earnings report. We're not gung-ho bullish as much as we used to be on these earnings reports. I can remember some scores in the really high double digits on this one, and we made some really big trades on this stock. Now we're closer to neutral on it because it's this. I think a lot of the growth is getting priced in. Everyone knows that this company's doing really well, but based on the pullback, I'm still bullish, and I think this pullback does give an opportunity for earnings tomorrow.
Landon, this is a Switzerland-based company, and I just got back from Europe, and I can tell you these shoes were everywhere throughout Europe. Now, I'm a gym shoe guy, and I'm a shoe guy in general, so I'm always looking at people's shoes and what they're wearing, and I can tell you Europe is full of these shoes. So, the question is, when do they hit critical mass? When are they really on the map? Because are they bigger than Under Armour now? I know they're more popular. That is, but when are they a real competitor to Nike? I mean, obviously Nike's the gold standard here, but I get how popular they are. I look at the shoes walking around towns. They're not cheap. Right, you can't get them for nothing, but they're incredibly popular. But when does this become a name that you're guaranteed to see long term?
I think it's tough. I mean, I think they've got to they continue to branch out. They've got to. They started in running, track and field, that kind of thing. Getting into tennis shoes now, so they're getting into athletics. I could be mistaken. I don't think they have anything in basketball yet, and that. I don't know if they're going there. It doesn't seem like a basketball shoe to me, but maybe if they get there, then you might turn some heads, and Nike would start to, be a little bit threatened. I don't think that, when you talk about Nike versus OnCloud, I mean, this is two different classes of companies, and OnCloud is on the way up, huge potential, a lot of momentum, growing very strong, but then they're nothing compared to Nike right now, but they're certainly on their way. I will tell you, if you've ever put these shoes on, they are unbelievably comfortable. I mean, you put them on, you actually notice how soft they feel, and you understand why they're called OnCloud. It really makes sense. The downside / upside to this, and I'll explain what I mean by that, is I think that they tend to get less comfortable over time, and they don't last really, really long. But they've got like subscription plans. I know that Megan has, our VP of research, she has a subscription plan because she runs so much where she just gets a new pair shipped to her every 6 months automatically because she wears them out so much through the running. So she's buying new shoes automatically every 6 months to this company. But every time you put them on for the first time, that new pair, you're like, oh yeah, this is what I wanted. Like, this is so comfortable. So they keep people coming back. So it's kind of an interesting product. They're not made to last years and years, but every time you put a new pair on, you love it. So I like where they're positioned. I don't think that they're a threat to Nike just yet, like as far as overtaking Nike, but they're certainly taking market share away. And every time, like I said, every time they get on a podium or every time someone wins something where they've got these shoes on, it's just kind of, turning heads and making everyone who watches that sport or everyone who wants to be like that champion say, maybe I could be 2% faster, 2% better if I had these shoes. And that's only going to help sales.
Yeah, Landon, I compared this to two different companies. Not only, you mentioned Nike, but at the same time Lululemon, because they started out as a shoe company, right, and they've expanded into apparel and accessories, right? And Lululemon is attempting to do it with their shoes. Those haven't really taken off. Is that the end for this company where, they can continue to grow, 50% on a year-over-year basis as far as revenue goes, just because of that fact that they're getting into other areas and the margins on their direct-to-consumer are a lot higher. They're not in a lot of stores. They're in some higher-end retailers. So is that the end for this company where they can just continue to expand their athleisure wear, and that's going to help them down the road even more because they started out as a shoe company?
I think that's a really good move for them, but they've got to be very careful. They have to make sure that the quality that people are used to translates into that athleisure wear. You can't have a drop off. It's got to be 100% premium. It's got to compete with Lulu when it comes to look and feel, because that's the way their shoes are. People have this going in. When you ask someone who wears OnCloud shoes about how do you think their athletic wear will feel, they're going to have very, very high expectations. You can't miss those expectations. It's going to lead to easy sales when people say, oh, you know what, I'll try out their shirts because I love their shoes so much, but you got to keep that up. Otherwise, the entire brand suffers. So it's a little bit of a, it's a risk-reward play. I think it's obviously the right move, but they've just got to make sure that they keep the quality top-notch because that's what's going to bring the customers in from the shoes, and that's going to keep their brand reputation extremely high.
And you mentioned you guys have been positive, for a while on this stock. It's finally caught up to your data at this point. But going into this earnings, do you have a score with it running up 100% so far this year?
Yeah, so officially we're at plus 15, which is just under the threshold for a bullish bet. That score was published on Friday. I would say with the pullback over the last little bit here, I would say that we might be in that range where we're willing to take a bet on the upside. It's not hardcore like out of the money calls or anything like that, but if I have to bet whether this thing's going up or down, I feel comfortable betting to the upside.
All right, great stuff, great data as always, Landon. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right.